Bali, island of gods, land of opportunity. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine waking to the sound of tropical birds calling through palm fronds. The air is warm, carrying the scent of frangipani flowers and incense from a nearby temple. This is Bali, and this could be your morning. Welcome to our journey through one of the world's most enchanting islands. Over the next 2 hours, we'll explore not just the beauty of Bali, but the practical dream of making this paradise your own. Whether you seek a lifestyle transformation, a steady stream of passive income, or both, Bali offers a path that few places on Earth can match. Tonight, we'll move slowly. We'll explore every detail that matters, from the legal structures that make foreign ownership possible to the specific neighborhoods where your investment will thrive. From the mathematics of rental returns to the spiritual dimension that transforms every investor into something more, a part of this island's living story. So settle in, let the stress of the day drift away, and join me as we discover why thousands of investors have found their sanctuary in this Indonesian jewel, the Awakening Island. There's something happening in Bali, something that began quietly years ago and has grown into a movement that's reshaping the island's landscape and economy. Picture this, a young graphic designer from Berlin, sitting in a beachside cafe in Canggu, laptop open, working on a project for a client in New York. Beside her, a yoga instructor from Australia reviews her schedule between sips of fresh coconut water. At the next table, a couple from Canada discusses their new villa rental business, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of amber and rose. This is the new Bali. Not just a vacation destination, but a living, breathing community of dreamers and doers. Digital nomads, long-term travelers, entrepreneurs, and investors have discovered what locals have always known. There's magic here. And more importantly, there's opportunity. The numbers behind the dream. Let's speak plainly about what draws investors to these shores. While other markets offer returns of 3, 4, perhaps 5% annually, Bali presents something quite different. Return on investment in Bali ranges from 10 to 15% annually on average. Some properties, particularly in the right locations with proper management, have achieved returns between 12 and 25%. Imagine investing 50 million Hungarian forints, roughly 125,000 euros. In many European cities, this might secure a small apartment with modest rental returns. In Bali, this same investment can purchase a villa, complete with pool, garden, and enough space to host multiple guests. Your annual income from this property could reach 15 to 30,000 euros, year after year. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's understand why these returns are possible. Understanding the two investment levels. Before we journey deeper, we need to establish something important. Your investment level fundamentally shapes your Bali experience. At 50 million forints, approximately 125,000 euros, you're entering Bali's investment market at what we might call the accessible tier. This budget secures a smaller villa or apartment, likely with a leasehold arrangement of 20 to 25 years. The properties at this level are genuine, profitable, and can generate excellent returns. But they typically sit in emerging areas or represent older construction. At 100 million forints, approximately 250,000 euros, everything shifts. This budget opens access to Bali's premium short-term rental market. 2 to 3 bedroom villas in the most sought-after zones: Canggu, Umalas, Barawa. Modern construction, prime locations, longer leasehold periods of 25 to 30 years, sometimes with extension options reaching 80 years. The difference isn't just size or luxury. It's about market positioning. The premium tier generates the highest rental yields. 12 to 15% gross is standard, sometimes reaching 25%. Why? Because these properties attract the affluent traveler, the yoga retreat groups, the wedding parties, the month-long digital nomad stays at premium rates. Throughout our journey tonight, we'll explore both tiers. Because wherever you enter this market, the fundamentals remain the same. The opportunity is real. The returns are substantial. And the lifestyle, well, we'll get to that. The perfect storm of opportunity. Three forces have converged to create what we might call the Bali moment. First, there's tourism. Even before recent global changes accelerated remote work, Bali was welcoming millions of visitors annually. But these weren't ordinary tourists rushing through on week-long packages. Many came for months. Some never left. The island welcomed 6.3 million international visitors in 2019. After pandemic disruptions, the numbers are rebuilding steadily. But more importantly, the nature of visitors has changed. Average stays have lengthened. Spending per visitor has increased. The old backpacker hostels are being replaced by boutique hotels and private villas. Second, the digital revolution freed an entire generation from office desks. When your income flows through fiber optic cables, your location becomes a choice rather than a necessity. And given the choice, many choose paradise. Co-working spaces in Canggu are fully booked months in advance. The coffee shops have Wi-Fi speeds that rival Silicon Valley. The digital nomad community has created an infrastructure of support, events, and networking that makes Bali not just a beautiful place to work, but a productive one. Third, and perhaps most importantly, Bali has maintained its soul. Despite development, despite tourism, the island remains deeply spiritual, profoundly beautiful, and genuinely welcoming. The Balinese people perform their daily offerings, maintain their temples, and celebrate their ceremonies just as their ancestors did centuries ago. Investors in Seminyak are often drawn to its stability. This isn't an emerging market with uncertain futures. Seminyak is established, proven, and consistently profitable. Uluwatu, the southern serenity. Travel further south, and the island reveals a different face. Uluwatu sits atop dramatic limestone cliffs, where temples perch above the thundering Indian Ocean. This is Bali at its most dramatic, most spiritual, most breathtaking. Uluwatu attracts travelers seeking something beyond the party scene. Yoga retreats booking an entire villa for a week. Surf camps taking over multiple bedrooms. Intimate wedding destinations where 30 guests celebrate across 3 nights. The rental model here is different. Less about maximizing nightly bookings, more about securing longer, higher value stays. At 125,000 euros, you can find a 2-bedroom villa perched on the cliffs, though perhaps not with direct ocean views. Maybe overlooking rice fields or jungle instead. These properties appeal to travelers seeking tranquility over beach clubs. Your rental strategy might target week-long yoga groups at 2,000 to 2,500 euros per week, or month-long stays at 6,000 to 7,000 euros monthly. Occupancy might be lower, 60 to 65%, but the per-booking value is higher. Annual gross revenue, 32,000 to 38,000 euros. Net income, 20,000 to 25,000 euros. 16 to 20% return, with the added value of owning property in one of Bali's most spectacular regions. At 250,000 euros, Uluwatu becomes truly magical. Ocean view villas. Infinity pools seeming to merge with the sea beyond. Architecture that makes every sunrise a spiritual experience. These properties command 300 to 500 euros nightly from individual travelers, or 5,000 to 6,000 euros weekly for groups. Premium positioning plus spectacular views equals premium returns. Annual gross, 55,000 to 70,000 euros. Net income, 35,000 to 45,000 euros. 14 to 18% return, but with perhaps the most beautiful property you'll ever own. Ubud, the cultural heart. Not all investment is coastal. Ubud sits inland, surrounded by rice terraces and forest, Bali's spiritual and cultural center. Ubud attracts a specific traveler, those seeking wellness, artistic inspiration, cultural immersion. They come for the temples, the traditional dance performances, the healing centers and meditation retreats. At 125,000 euros, you can secure a 1 or 2 bedroom villa in the rice fields surrounding Ubud town. These properties market themselves to yoga practitioners, writers on retreat, artists seeking inspiration. Rental rates are moderate, 100 to 150 euros nightly, but occupancy is consistent. Ubud's appeal is year-round. Gross revenue, 28 to 35,000 euros. Net income, 17 to 22,000 euros. 14 to 18% return. At 250,000 euros, you enter Ubud's luxury wellness market. Villas designed for healing. Yoga shalas on the property. Outdoor bathtubs overlooking rice terraces. Spaces designed for transformation. These properties command 200 to 300 euros nightly, or partner with wellness retreat operators for week-long bookings at 4 to 5,000 euros. Annual gross revenue, 45 to 60,000 euros. Net income, 30 to 40,000 euros. 12 to 16% return. Slightly lower than coastal areas, but serving a different purpose. Ubud investors often use their properties personally, finding the cultural and spiritual environment irresistible. The emerging East, tomorrow's opportunity. But perhaps the most intriguing story is still being written in East Bali. While the South has developed and matured, the eastern regions remain relatively untouched. Candid Asa, Sidemen, the foothills of Mount Agung. These areas are beginning to attract attention from investors who remember when Tsaungu was just a village. At 125,000 euros, East Bali offers extraordinary value. A 3-bedroom villa on leasehold in with ocean views, can be secured at this price. Properties that would cost double or triple in Tsaungu. The challenge is rental infrastructure. Property management is less developed. The tourist flow is smaller, though growing. Occupancy might run 50 to 60% rather than 70%. Nightly rates are lower, 100 to 120 euros. Annual gross revenue, 18 to 26,000 euros. Net income, 10 to 15,000 euros. 8 to 12% return. Lower than established areas, absolutely. But consider the trajectory. 5 years ago, these same properties cost half their current price. 5 years from now, as Bali continues developing, as travelers seek less crowded areas, as infrastructure improves, where will prices be? East Bali represents the speculative play within Bali investing. Lower immediate returns, but potential for substantial appreciation, and the lifestyle access to some of Bali's most authentic areas. At 250,000 euros, you can own something truly spectacular in East Bali. A 5-bedroom villa compound, multiple structures, expansive grounds, properties that could serve as retreat centers, or simply as your personal paradise. These generate moderate rental income, 25 to 35,000 gross, 15 to 22,000 net, but offer other values. Space, privacy, potential for future development. The leasehold structure. Understanding foreign ownership. Now we must address the practical realities. The legal framework that makes all of this possible, and more importantly, the framework you must understand to invest successfully. Indonesia has clear rules about foreign land ownership. You cannot, as a foreigner, simply purchase land freehold as you might in your home country. The Indonesian government reserves permanent land ownership rights primarily for Indonesian citizens. But don't let this concern you. There's a well-established system that provides security, legality, and opportunity. It's been tested by thousands of foreign investors over decades. The system works. It's called leasehold, and understanding it completely is absolutely essential. The leasehold mechanics. Imagine you offered the right to use and profit from a property for 25 to 30 years. This right can often be extended. First extension might add another 25 years. Second extension could add 20 more, totaling potentially 80 years of use rights. During this time, the property is yours in every practical sense. You can renovate it, rent it out, enjoy it personally, profit from it completely. You can even sell the remaining leasehold period to another buyer, effectively selling the property, just not in perpetuity. This is leasehold. You're not buying the land itself in perpetuity. but rather a long-term lease that functions very much like ownership for the duration that matters to your investment timeline. The two forms, hak sowa. The most common leasehold structure for foreigners is called hak sowa, essentially a rental right registered with local authorities. Here's how it works in practice. The Indonesian landowner retains the underlying land title. You sign a leasehold agreement, usually 25 or 30 years initially, that gives you exclusive use rights. This agreement is notarized and can be registered with the local land office. Crucially, this agreement specifies extension rights. A well-structured leasehold contract will include language guaranteeing your right to extend for additional periods, sometimes at predetermined prices, sometimes at market rates to be negotiated later. The title document you receive is in your name. You have legal protection. If the landowner tries to reclaim the property before the leasehold period expires, you have recourse through Indonesian law. Now, is this as secure as freehold ownership in, say, Germany or France? No, it's not. There's inherent risk in any leasehold structure. The landowner could theoretically refuse to extend, though this rarely happens when extension rights are properly documented. The laws could theoretically change, though Indonesia has maintained foreign-friendly investment policies for decades. But for our investment scenario, whether 125,000 or 250,000 euros, this is actually ideal. You're not paying for permanent land ownership that you might not need for 70 or 80 years. Instead, you're acquiring the right to generate income now, during the years that matter most for your financial planning and lifestyle goals. The corporate alternative, PT-PMA. There is another option, particularly for larger investors or those planning multiple properties. More complex tone. You can establish an Indonesian company, called a PT-PMA, a foreign-owned company structure. This company can, under certain conditions, own land more directly through a structure called Hak Guna Bangunan, HGB, a building use right that's renewable. The setup is more complex. Legal fees of 6 to 10,000 euros. Ongoing corporate obligations, annual reports, accounting, tax filings even if there's no profit. Minimum investment requirements of around 10 billion Indonesian rupiah, roughly 600,000 euros, for many sectors. For our 50 million foreign investor at 125,000 euros, PT-PMA probably doesn't make sense. The setup costs and ongoing obligations would significantly erode returns. For 250,000 euros, it's worth considering. The additional legal security might justify the costs, especially if you plan to eventually acquire additional properties under the same corporate structure. But for most single-property investors seeking passive income, leasehold via hak sowa is typically the simpler, more straightforward path. It's what the vast majority of successful foreign investors in Bali use. The extension question. The question every prospective leasehold investor asks: what happens when the lease period ends? Several possibilities exist. First, and most common, you negotiate an extension with the landowner. If your contract includes extension rights at predetermined prices, this is straightforward. You pay the agreed amount, the leasehold extends. If the contract requires negotiating market rates, you discuss current land values with the owner. Usually, you reach agreement. You've been maintaining and improving the property for decades, generating value the landowner wants to preserve. Second possibility, you sell the property during the leasehold period. Many investors do this. The market recognizes leasehold value. A property with 20 years remaining on a 30-year lease still has substantial value to another investor. Third possibility, you choose not to extend. Maybe you've enjoyed 30 years of rental income. Maybe you're ready to move to a different investment. You let the leasehold lapse, the property reverts to the landowner, and you've still generated decades of positive returns. The fear is that you'll lose everything when the lease ends. The reality is that you've been generating income for decades. You've likely recovered your initial investment many times over. And most investors either extend or sell before expiration. The due diligence imperative. Whatever leasehold structure you choose, one thing is absolutely non-negotiable: independent legal representation. Your own lawyer, not the developer's lawyer, not the agent's recommended lawyer. Your own lawyer, who represents only your interests. This costs money. Expect to pay 1,500 to 3,000 euros for proper legal due diligence. But this expense is essential. Your lawyer will verify that the leasehold title is legitimate, that the Indonesian landowner actually owns the underlying land, that there are no hidden debts or disputes, that all permissions and permits are in order, that the extension clauses are properly worded and legally enforceable. They'll also review the purchase agreement before you sign anything. They'll ensure your rights are protected, that the payment schedule is reasonable, and that you understand every clause in both English and Indonesian. Never, ever skip this step. The money saved on legal fees is insignificant compared to the risk of a problematic purchase. I've seen investors lose everything because they trusted the wrong people, skipped due diligence, or tried to save a few thousand euros on legal costs. Don't be that investor, the beautiful math of rental income. Let's paint a complete picture with numbers. Real numbers, comprehensive numbers, based on actual market data and investor reports. We'll work through both investment levels thoroughly. Scenario 1, 50 million forints, 125,000 euros. You purchase a 2-bedroom villa in Canggu on leasehold. Purchase price, 125,000 euros. You furnish it beautifully, thoughtfully. Comfortable beds, well-equipped kitchen, fast internet, and that essential Bali touch, a private pool surrounded by tropical plants. Total investment including furnishing, 135,000 euros. Your nightly rate, 150 euros. Not the highest on the island, but competitive for the area. At 70% occupancy throughout the year, you host guests for approximately 255 nights. That's 38,250 euros in gross revenue annually. Now, reality requires us to subtract costs. Property management companies typically charge 20 to 25% of revenue. Let's say 25%. 9,563 euros to management. Utilities. Electricity averages 200 euros monthly in Bali for a villa with air conditioning and pool. 2,400 euros annually. Pool maintenance, 100 euros monthly. 1,200 euros annually. Garden maintenance, 80 euros monthly. 960 euros annually. Insurance, roughly 1% of property value. 1,350 euros annually. Homeowner association fees, 100 euros monthly in typical villa complexes. 1,200 euros annually. Periodic maintenance reserve, budget 3% of annual revenue. 1,148 euros annually. Total operational costs, 20,618 euros. Your net annual income, 17,632 euros. On a 135,000 euro total investment, that's 13% net return. Annually, every year, year after year. As long as you maintain the property well and keep it actively marketed. Scenario 2, 200,000 euros. Now let's scale up. You purchase a premium 3-bedroom villa in prime Canggu. Purchase price, 250,000 euros. Premium furnishing and equipment, 20,000 euros. Total investment, 270,000 euros. This villa commands higher rates because it offers more. Modern design, high-end finishes, perfect location, professional photography, exceptional reviews. Your nightly rate, 225 euros. At 75% occupancy, higher because premium properties are better managed. You host guests for 274 nights annually. Gross annual revenue, 61,650 euros. Property management at 25%, 15,413 euros. Utilities are higher with a larger villa, 300 euros monthly. 3,600 euros annually. Pool and garden maintenance, slightly higher for a premium property. 2,400 euros annually combined. Insurance, 1% of property value. 2,700 euros. HOA fees, 150 euros monthly for premium developments. 1,800 euros annually. Maintenance reserve, 3% of revenue. 1,850 euros. Total operational costs, 46,763 euros. Net annual income, 4 to 4,887 euros. On a 270,000 euro investment, that's 16.6% net return. And this property isn't just a financial asset. It's genuinely luxurious. Something you'll want to use yourself. Something you'll be proud to show guests. Something that serves dual purposes, excellent investment returns when rented, and your personal paradise when you visit. The tax reality, Indonesian side. Now, we must discuss everyone's favorite topic, taxes. The good news, Indonesia's approach is surprisingly straightforward. Rental income in Indonesia is taxed at 10% for foreign property owners. This is considerably lower than most European countries. On our first scenario generating 17,600 euros net, you'd pay approximately 1,760 euros in Indonesian tax. Your after-tax net, 15,870 euros, 11.7% return. On the premium scenario generating 4 to 4,800 euros net, Indonesian tax would be approximately 4,480 euros. After-tax net, 40,400 euros, 15% return. When you eventually sell the property, there's a capital gains tax of 5% on the profit. So if you purchased for 135,000 and sold for 200,000 after many years, you'd pay 5% on the 65,000 euro profit, 3,250 euros. However, and this is crucial, you remain a tax resident of your country. This is where complexity enters, and where professional advice becomes absolutely essential. You must declare your worldwide income to the tax authority. This includes rental income from Bali. Check if your country has a double taxation agreement with Indonesia. This agreement exists specifically to prevent you from being fully taxed in both countries. The Indonesian tax you've already paid, that 10%, can be credited against your residential tax obligation. But the mechanics of this are complex. Your residential tax law, Indonesian tax law, and the treaty between them create a web of requirements that requires professional navigation. Budget 2 to 3,000 euros for proper tax advice in your first year. A tax advisor who understands both your and Indonesian tax law, and specifically the treaty between them, is essential. This isn't optional. This isn't creative accounting. This is simply responsible investing. The advisor will help you structure your affairs properly, ensure you're compliant with all requirements, and minimize your total tax burden legally. Some investors try to skip this step. They think they can figure it out themselves, or that the Indonesian tax is the only tax they need to worry about. These investors often end up with problems years later when an audit comes and undeclared foreign income is being discovered. Don't be that investor either. The complete return picture. Let me summarize what you actually receive as a return on these investments. Investment, 135,000 euros total. Gross annual revenue, 38,250 euros after Indonesian tax and all costs. 15,870 euro net return. 11.7% after tax adjustments. Varies by individual situation, but likely 9 to 11%. 270,000 euro total investment. Gross annual revenue, 61,650 euros after Indonesian tax and all costs. 40,400 euro net return. 15% after potential tax adjustments. Varies by individual situation, but likely 12 to 14%. These are real, achievable numbers. Not projections, not best-case scenarios. Conservative estimates based on actual property performance. Compare this to leaving the same money in a bank account earning perhaps 1 to 2% annually. Bali offers substantially higher returns. But, and this is important, those returns come with complexity. Legal complexity, tax complexity, management complexity across thousands of kilometers. The returns compensate for that complexity. Whether they compensate enough is a judgment only you can make. Beyond the spreadsheet, we've spoken of percentages and returns, of leasehold and property management, of Indonesian tax and other obligations. But now, let's discuss something that doesn't appear on any balance sheet. The lifestyle dividend. Your second home in paradise. Many investors discover something unexpected after their first year of ownership. They find themselves blocking out weeks for property inspection that somehow involve morning yoga, afternoon surf sessions, and sunset dinners overlooking rice terraces. This is perfectly legitimate, of course. One must personally verify that the property is being maintained to standard, that the pool is properly cleaned, that the breakfast experience meets expectations, that the Wi-Fi is truly as fast as the listing claims. The truth is, owning an investment property in Bali grants you something beyond income. It grants you belonging, a base in paradise that's truly yours, a reason to visit that goes deeper than tourism. The slow morning ritual. Picture your typical visit. You arrive late evening, tired from travel. The property manager meets you with keys, shows you everything works, points out the fresh flowers they've placed throughout. You sleep deeply in the tropical warmth, and you wake the next morning in your own bed, in your own villa. You pad barefoot across cool tiles to throw open the doors to your private pool. The air is already warm, but not yet hot. Frangipani flowers have fallen overnight, floating on the pool's surface like small white stars. You hear the neighbor's rooster. Yes, there's always a rooster, distant motorbike engines, the call of tropical birds you still haven't learned to identify. You make coffee in your kitchen. Real coffee, prepared exactly as you like it, in the French press you brought from home and left here for your visits. And you sit by your pool, watching dragonflies skim the water's surface, planning nothing more urgent than which beach to visit later. This moment, this is wealth that no spreadsheet can quantify. This is the lifestyle dividend that every Bali investor eventually discovers. The investment generates returns, yes, but it also generates mornings like this. And those mornings become part of your life in a way that stock dividends never will. The personal use balance. Here's a practical question that every investor faces. How much should you use the property yourself? From a pure return perspective, every night you occupy the villa is a night you're not earning rental income. If your property generates 150 euros per night, each week of personal use costs you approximately 1,000 euros in foregone revenue. But this calculus is incomplete, because the value you derive from personal use isn't purely financial. Many investors settle into a rhythm. They block out 4 to 6 weeks annually for personal use. Perhaps 2 weeks in low season when rental demand is slower anyway. Perhaps a month spread across the year in shorter trips. 6 weeks of personal use means 4 to 6 weeks available for rental. At 70% occupancy on those 4 to 6 weeks, you're still achieving about 60% annual occupancy overall. The revenue impact is real but manageable. Your gross revenue might drop from 38,000 to 34,000 euros, but those 6 weeks, those become some of your most valued weeks of the year. Time in your Bali villa, working remotely from paradise, hosting friends and family, experiencing the lifestyle that drew you to this investment in the first place. The financial return drops slightly. The total life return increases substantially. The community phenomenon. But perhaps the most valuable aspect of investing in Bali is the community you inherit. Bali has developed a remarkable international community. Not tourists, not even travelers, but residents. People who've made Bali their primary or secondary home. Every week brings opportunities to connect with fellow investors, entrepreneurs, artists, and dreamers from around the world. Dinner parties under the stars at someone's villa in Pararenan. Beach cleanups organized by the Tsangu community, where locals and expatriates work together. Yoga classes where you might find yourself next to a tech startup founder from Estonia or photographer from Argentina. Networking events at co-working spaces where ideas spark and collaborations form. Full moon gatherings where the community celebrates together. Sound healing ceremonies. Ecstatic dance. Surf competitions. Art exhibitions. The calendar stays full with opportunities for connection. This is the lifestyle dividend that no one mentions in investment prospectuses. The friendships formed. The business connections made. The gradual realization that you've built a life in 2 places, not just acquired an asset. Many investors arrive thinking purely financially. They'll buy a villa, collect rent, visit occasionally. Within a year, they are visiting constantly. Within 2 years, they are considering relocating full-time. The community draws them in. And then there's something harder to explain. Something that long-term residents understand but struggle to articulate. Bali is called the Island of Gods for reason. The Balinese people maintain a spiritual practice that permeates daily life. Every morning, offerings appear outside homes, shops, even on motorcycles. Kanang sari, small palm leaf baskets filled with flowers, rice, and incense. These aren't tourist performances. These are genuine daily offerings. The Balinese believe in maintaining balance between the physical and spiritual worlds. The offerings feed both the gods and the demons, keeping harmony. Temple ceremonies occur with regularity. Galungan, Kuningan, Nyapi, countless smaller ceremonies throughout the year. Processions of women in ceremonial dress carrying towers of offerings on their heads. Gamelan orchestras play. The entire island seems to pause and breathe together. You're not Balinese. You're not Hindu. Yet somehow, living here, you find yourself affected by this rhythm. This constant reminder that there's more to life than productivity and profit. That beauty matters. That ceremony matters. That pausing to make an offering to the universe is not wasted time. You start noticing the offerings everywhere. You attend temple ceremonies by invitation from Balinese friends. You find yourself slowing down, being more present, more aware of the subtle energies that the Balinese navigate daily. This spiritual dimension doesn't appear in any investment analysis. But ask anyone who's spent significant time in Bali, and they'll tell you, it changes you. Quietly, permanently, usually for the better. You arrive as an investor. You become something more. Someone more attuned to beauty, to community, to the possibility that life can be lived differently. The children factor. For investors with families, there's another dimension worth considering. Bali has developed an impressive network of international schools. Green School in Sabang, probably the most famous, with its bamboo structures and alternative education model. Canggu Community School for more traditional curricula. Taman Rama in Ubud. Numerous others serving different educational philosophies and age ranges. Many investor families discover an unexpected option. They can spend extended periods in Bali with their children enrolled in these schools. 3 months, 6 months. Some families relocate entirely, using their rental property as their primary home, homeschooling or enrolling children locally. The children grow up bilingual, exposed to Balinese culture, learning to surf, making friends from dozens of countries. They develop a global perspective impossible to achieve staying in one country. Meanwhile, the parents work remotely, manage their businesses, generate income while living in paradise. The rental property serves dual duty again, income generator when rented, family home when occupied. This isn't for everyone, but for families valuing experience over conventional paths, Bali offers possibilities that transform family life entirely. So perhaps you're convinced. Perhaps the dream of Bali has taken root in your imagination. But how does one actually begin? Let's walk through the process step by detailed step. Step 1. Research and self-education. Before spending a single euro, spend time. Invest in understanding. Start with online research. Join Facebook groups focused on Bali property investment. There are several with thousands of members. Bali property investors, invest in Bali. Digital Nomads Bali all contain valuable discussion and advice. Read the discussions. Notice what questions repeat, what problems arise, what solutions work. You'll learn more from these groups than from any guidebook. Study current listings on platforms like Bali Real Estate, Property Bali, and international platforms like Property Guru. Spend hours understanding what your budget buys in different areas. Notice how prices vary between Canggu and Ubud, between beachfront and rice field, between new construction and older villas. Read blogs from long-term investors. Several experienced Bali investors maintain detailed blogs documenting their journeys. Learn from their successes and mistakes. The education is free and invaluable. Budget at least 2 months for this research phase. Become an expert on Bali property investment before you ever contact an agent or visit a property. Step 2. Visit Bali as an investor. At some point, digital research must become physical presence. But visit Bali the right way. Don't visit for a week. That's too short. Book at least 2 weeks, preferably 3 or 4. And don't stay in hotels. Rent villas in different areas through Airbnb. Spend a week in Canggu. Live the lifestyle. Visit co-working spaces. Eat at the restaurants. Walk the streets at different times of day. Understand the rhythm of the area. Then move to Seminyak for several days. Feel the difference. The more upscale vibe. The different travelers. The beach club scene. Spend time in Ubud. Experience the cultural center. The rice fields. The quieter, more spiritual atmosphere. During this time, schedule property viewings. Contact agents representing different developments. See both new construction and existing properties. Visit villas currently operating as successful rentals. The owners often won't mind showing you their property. They're usually proud of what they've built. Talk to everyone. The villa owners you meet. The property managers. The long-term residents at co-working spaces. Ask about their experiences. The good. The challenging. What they do differently. Take detailed notes. Photographs. Record your impressions while they are fresh. Step 3. Selecting your property. After your visit, you'll have clarity about which areas appeal to you and what style of property fits your vision. Now begins the selection process. Work with reputable agents. Several agencies specialize in serving international investors. Look for agencies that have been operating for at least 5 years, that can provide references from other foreign buyers, that speak your language fluently, or at minimum, excellent English. View multiple properties in your budget range. Don't fall in love with the first villa you see, no matter how perfect it seems. Understand the market. Understand what your budget actually buys. Pay attention to details that matter for rental success. Location relative to popular areas. Quality of construction. Layout that photographs well. Pool size and appeal. Whether furniture is included and its quality. Visit properties multiple times if possible. See them at different times of day. Morning light reveals different aspects than afternoon sun. Evening visits show noise levels, street lighting, security. Step 4. Due diligence. You found a property you love. Now begins the crucial phase, verification. Hire an independent lawyer. Not the developer's lawyer. Not the agent's recommended lawyer. Your own lawyer, who represents only your interests. This costs money. Expect to pay 1,500 to 3,000 euros for proper legal due diligence on a 125,000 euro property. Perhaps 3 to 4,000 euros on a 250,000 euro property. But this expense is essential. Your lawyer will verify that the leasehold title is legitimate. They'll check that the Indonesian landowner actually owns the underlying land by reviewing the Certificate of Land Title, Certifikat Hak Milik or SHM. They'll ensure there are no debts, liens, or disputes attached to the property. They'll verify that all construction permits are in order, the IMB, building permit, and PBG, environmental permit. They'll review the leasehold agreement in detail. Check that extension rights are properly worded in both Indonesian and English. Verify that payment terms for extensions are clearly specified or that negotiation procedures are fair. They'll ensure the payment schedule is reasonable and that your funds are protected during the transaction process. Never, ever skip this step. The money saved on legal fees is insignificant compared to the risk of a problematic purchase. I cannot stress this enough. Stories of foreign investors losing money in Bali almost always involve skipping or skimping on legal due diligence. Don't become a cautionary tale. Step 5. Financing and purchase. Most foreign buyers purchase Bali property with cash or with financing from their home country. Indonesian banks rarely provide mortgages to foreigners for property purchases. This means having your funds ready and accessible. Work with your Hungarian bank to ensure you can transfer the necessary amount to Indonesia. Understand the currency exchange process. Your forints convert to euros, which convert to Indonesian rupiah. The payment process typically involves multiple installments. An initial deposit, perhaps 10 to 20%, paid when you sign the preliminary agreement. This deposit is usually held in escrow or by the notary. Further payments at specified milestones if it's a new development. Perhaps 30% at foundation completion, another 30% when walls are up, the remainder at handover. For existing properties, payment is usually more straightforward. Deposit at agreement signing. Balance at notarial transfer. Your lawyer will ensure funds go to the right accounts. For developments, verify there's proper escrow arrangement protecting your money if the developer encounters problems. The notarial transfer happens at a notary office. Both parties attend. Documents are signed. Funds transfer. The leasehold is registered in your name. You receive your documentation. The process, when everything is in order, takes only a few hours. Step 6. Furnishing and setup. If you've purchased an unfurnished property or want to improve existing furniture, budget time and money for setup. Furniture in Bali is relatively affordable. Local craftsmen produce beautiful pieces from teak, rattan, and bamboo. Budget 5 to 10,000 euros to furnish a 2-bedroom villa completely. Include beds and mattresses, comfortable ones. This matters for reviews. Living room seating, dining table and chairs, outdoor furniture for poolside, kitchen equipment, towels and linens, artwork and decorations. Many investors work with local interior designers who specialize in rental properties. They understand what photographs well, what guests expect, what durability is needed. Their fees are modest, perhaps 1,000 euros, and their expertise is valuable. Setup also includes practical elements. Wi-Fi installation, essential and non-negotiable. Security systems if not already present. Pool equipment if needed. Garden setup and landscaping. Budget 2 to 3 months from purchase to being rental ready if you're starting from scratch with furnishing. Step 7. Property management selection. Before your first guest arrives, you need property management in place. This decision determines whether your passive income is genuinely passive or becomes active stress. Interview at least 3 property management companies. Understand their fee structures. 20 to 25% is standard in Bali, but understand exactly what this includes. Does it include guest communication? Managing bookings across multiple platforms? Coordinating cleaning between guests? Handling maintenance requests? Pool service? Garden care? Restocking supplies? Managing reviews and responses? Ask for references. Speak with other property owners they manage. Ask about communication. Responsiveness to problems. Quality of cleaning. Occupancy rates achieved. Actual versus projected revenue. Visit properties in their portfolio if possible. See how they are maintained. Check online reviews of those properties. You're essentially judging their work quality. Good property managers respond to guest issues within hours, not days. They maintain your property as if it were their own, reporting maintenance needs before they become problems. They maximize your occupancy through professional photography, pricing optimization, and excellent guest reviews. They are worth every percentage point they charge. The difference between good and mediocre property management can easily be 10 to 15% in annual revenue. Plus the difference between peace of mind and constant worry. The timeline reality. From first serious interest to first guest checking in, expect 6 to 12 months for existing properties. For new developments, add the construction period. This isn't a quick process. Property searching takes time. Legal due diligence takes time. Notarial transfer takes time. Furnishing takes time. Photography and listing optimization takes time. But this is good. Investment decisions shouldn't be rushed. This timeline allows you to be thorough, careful, and confident in your choices. What could go wrong? We've spent most of our time tonight discussing opportunity, but responsible investing requires understanding risk and challenge as well. Let's discuss the things that can go wrong and the things that are simply difficult. The legal risk. Leasehold is not freehold. This fundamental reality creates inherent uncertainty. The Indonesian landowner could, theoretically, refuse to extend when your leasehold period expires. Even with extension clauses in your contract, enforcement through Indonesian courts can be lengthy and uncertain. Laws could change. Foreign ownership rules could become more restrictive. What's legal today could become complicated tomorrow. These risks are real. They are why leasehold properties sell for less than equivalent freehold properties in other markets. The uncertainty is priced in. Mitigation. Work with experienced lawyers. Ensure extension rights are ironclad in your contract. Build relationships with the Indonesian landowner. Consider the leasehold period length. 30 years with extension options to 80 years covers most investment horizons. But accept, absolute certainty doesn't exist in Bali property investment. The distance challenge. Managing property thousands of kilometers away creates practical challenges. You're depending entirely on your property manager. If they underperform, discovering and fixing the problem from Hungary is difficult. If they are dishonest, detecting it requires vigilance. Maintenance issues require trust. You're not there to verify that repairs are necessary or that quoted prices are fair. Mitigation. Choose property managers with excellent track records. Build in redundancy. Have backup contacts for repairs. Visit regularly to inspect. Use technology, security cameras, smart locks, monitoring systems. But accept, remote property management requires trust and creates vulnerability. The currency risk. Your investment is in Indonesian rupiah. Your thinking is in euros and forints. Exchange rate fluctuations affect your returns. If the rupiah weakens against the euro, your euro-denominated returns improve. If it strengthens, they decline. Over a 10 or 20-year investment horizon, these fluctuations can be substantial. Mitigation. View this as a diversification benefit rather than pure risk. You're not concentrating all assets in euro-denominated investments. Some currency diversification is healthy. But accept, exchange rate movements will affect your returns in ways you can't control. The tourism dependence. Bali's rental market depends on tourism. Global events that reduce travel, pandemics, economic recessions, natural disasters, directly impact your occupancy and income. The recent pandemic demonstrated this acutely. Bali tourism essentially stopped for periods. Properties sat empty. Rental income evaporated. Mitigation. Maintain cash reserves to cover costs during lean periods. Consider longer-term rentals to local expatriates as backup. Diversify if possible. Don't put all investable capital into a single Bali villa. But accept, tourism volatility creates income volatility. Some years will be exceptional. Some will be challenging. The maintenance reality. Tropical climates are harsh on buildings. Salt air, humidity, tropical storms, intense sun, all accelerate wear and deterioration. What lasts 20 years in Hungary might last 10 in Bali. Air conditioners fail more frequently. Pool equipment requires more maintenance. Wood furniture needs more care. Paint fades faster. Mitigation. Budget generously for maintenance. 3% of annual revenue minimum. Choose quality materials initially. Work with property managers who maintain preventively rather than reactively. But accept, maintenance costs in Bali exceed those in temperate climates. Factor this into your return expectations. The beautiful balance. Despite these challenges, thousands of foreign investors operate successfully in Bali. The returns justify the risks. The lifestyle justifies the complexity. The experience justifies the distance. Understand what you're entering. Not through rose-colored glasses, but with clear eyes. The challenges are real. They are manageable. But they require awareness, planning, and realistic expectations. Bali isn't the easiest international property investment. But for many investors, it's the most rewarding. The sun is setting now, in our imaginary Bali. The sky turns gold, then pink, then deep purple. The evening offerings are being laid out at temples across the island. The gamelan music drifts on the warm breeze. Somewhere on this island, in a villa very much like the ones we've discussed, a guest is settling in for their first night. They've arrived from the stress of their regular life, drawn by the promise of tropical tranquility. The villa exceeds their expectations. The pool glows invitingly. The sounds of the evening surround them. They don't know it, but their rental payment is providing passive income to an investor who dared to dream of paradise. An investor who worked through the complexities we've discussed tonight, who did the legal due diligence, who found the right property manager, who accepted the challenges and embraced the opportunity. That investor could be you. Whether you enter at 50 million forints or 100 million, whether you choose Tsangu's energy or Uluwatu's serenity, whether you seek maximum returns or maximum lifestyle value, the path is clear. The opportunity is real. The island awaits. Thank you for spending these 2 hours exploring Bali with me. Have a look at the downloadable PDF on Gumroad, which gives you a clearer insight with numbers and contact details. May your journey to paradise be thoughtful, successful, and filled with beauty. Good luck on the trail, and remember, the best investments are the ones that let you sleep soundly at night. Sweet dreams.